Hi, and welcome back to our Sprinter build series. Today we're going to build a bed across the back of the van for my young daughter, and once that's complete we will have sleeping area for 3. And in addition, I have left the walls open so this van would have the option of a high mount bed sometime in the future. Then the van would sleep 5. So let's go ahead and get started on the framing. The way this will work, it's 4'6" from here to here. And once my daughter is taller than that, then essentially her feet will extend into this cabinet. So that'll give her 5'11" in height. She can't get any taller than that. So let's go ahead and cut some 80/20. Now that we have the base framing in, we're going to mill these for anchor fasteners. We're going to use single anchor fasteners on the inside to attach these to the framing over here. And we're going to use double anchor fasteners here, only because we've got a single anchor point in the floor. I want to make sure that this is solidly anchored to this. So we're going to mill this, and the reason for using anchor fasteners here is because they're pretty easy to remove with an Allen key, and the goal is I want to be able to have this section, this metal section, removable. That way if I want to carry cargo, I can pull this out in just a couple of minutes. Okay, no cabinet install is complete without the R Caravan durability testing. I think it passes. So what we have is we have a bolt that goes through the stock tie down here, and then we've got a single anchor fastener on the inside of these four corners, and that's to make it reasonably easy to remove. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to get this thing in and out. So as you can tell, we cut some wood panels for the front and back. And we cut a top, and then this is a strip, a fixed piece, because there's a little bit of overlay on this countertop. So when the bed hinges up, it would hit this if I didn't have a fixed section. So we've got a small fixed section. So now what we need are, we need to put some latches in the battery compartment door. Some latches on this, as well as a strut to hold it open, because again, this is a bed platform, but the porta potty and storage will be in here as well. Now, I had the original battery compartment door screwed in place, but I made a design change, and what ended up happening was when this framing got butted up against each other, the nuts were not accessible. They were between these pieces of framing. Here you see the difference between the 1.5 inch aluminum and the 1 inch. I stopped using the 1 inch. This is the only thing I built with 1 inch, and that's because I'm not happy with the fastener strength. These tiny little 1/4 bolts, they just break too easy. They're not very strong, whereas the 1.5 uses 66% stronger bolts, and I've had much better luck with that. But in any event, we installed magnets. These are just the standard ones from Home Improvement Store, so they're on the corners. And I went through a lot of trial and error with the magnets. The magnets would not stick to the wood. I tried wood glue, I tried Gorilla Glue, I tried a couple of different types of adhesives, and none of them were working. So I ended up using JB Weld, which I doubt that metal and wood is like the best combination for it, but this thing, they will not come off. So that's what we went with. It looks ugly. Who cares? And we have the same thing going on with the back door. JB welded, magnets. We need a hinge here on our bed support, so I drilled a couple of holes to align with the slot in the 80/20, and we're going to use the same holes that attach the wood. Now we need a lift strut to support this when it's open. And these are the same ones that I used for my overheads. So I'm going to do the same thing here that I did on the overheads, and that is this mounting bracket. These holes don't align with the slots in the aluminum. So we're going to put just one hole, new hole back here to support the bracket, and then we'll screw this to the platform. Alright, I forgot to load a T-nut in the track, which happens, so that's when I use these. You can slip them in there. It makes it easy. You have to make sure you leave enough room for this mechanism to clear here. Got a little dial indicator. It goes 1 to 7, I think. Yeah, about 3 or 4 sounds about right. So it wasn't clear before. Here's the platform bed. It's 4'6¼ across, which is only good enough for a toddler, which is what I have. And so as she grows, her feet will actually go into that compartment, which is a little unconventional. I wouldn't put my head in there, but I put my feet in there. And that's 5'10". And we'll store all the bedding right there. So basically, the bedding will go there. Of course, there'll be cushions all the way across, and be able to just pull them out to make the bed. Now, in order to get my positive latching drawer latch to catch, this ends up roughly in the middle of the slot, but it won't actually grab onto the slot, so we need to use the catch. So what I did in this case was I took the catch and I just put it on the grinder, ground it down so that it would fit in the slot, and then just put in a couple of T-nuts and sandwiched it tight, and that's enough to hold it in there. So now we need to get this in the framing and bore a hole for the latch. I'm using these positive latches for latching both the battery door as well as the bed platform. These are a knockoff of the nice quality metal Southco latches I've been using the rest of my build. These are plastic. They're 1/4 of the quality, but they're about 1/3 of the price, so you decide which is a better value. But even though they have the same dimensions as the Southcos, they don't work exactly the same. This was the test jig I did for my drawers, and for whatever reason, these knockoff ones don't use the 41mm offset like the Southcos. So these were 2 test holes I did for my drawers. These were 2 test holes I did for this project, and basically had to do my own math to figure out how to space it correctly. So the number I came up with was that the hole should start 7mm from where it contacts the framing, where your little latch receiver is. So here's the bar of 80/20. That's the inside of my cabinet, and I made a mark 7mm down from that. That's where I want the very top of the circle to be. The hole is 2 inch, so I measure down 1 inch to find the center. We're going to drill a hole here. And we're going to put latches here. Set you guys down. And we'll close the lid. And now we'll mark on the inside of this framing. Okay, now with those marks, we'll know to come 7mm down plus 1 inch. And that's where we'll bore holes. And finally, this is the rear panel bed with the battery box, our storage cabinet, bed platform that also has the porta potty inside. I don't have this latch yet, still coming in the mail. And there's the bed extension. Alright guys, that's it for today. Next time we're going to cover all this bare wood with coin cell. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.